Hello, folks. This is Jeff Davis with the legendary Jeff Davis Show from Central Texas, USA. And I love Mike Hanson Archives. Peace out,
Hello,
baby.
Austin, Texas. We are back. And we have another exciting edition of the Jeff Davis Show. And I want to just mention, we're going to play that lead in again in case if you all missed part of it. There was a lot of work put into that. So we're going to go ahead and play that here either in midway through the show, the end of the show, whatever. Now we've got another exciting show for you lined up tonight. We've got scheduled to come in. We have Mr. Charlie Waits, local talk radio personality, and a couple other things going on. We got some stuff concerning Mount Carmel. It burned down. The little shed that the people were living in. But before we get to that, we've got a young lady in the studio with us from, now correct me if I'm wrong, her name is Mary Helen Parent. That's the American way to put it, right?
Yes.
And she is what's called a Raëlian priest. Miss Parent, I'd like to first off welcome you to the Jeff Davis Show.
Thank you, Jeff.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I know you all got a little presentation you want to get to here, and you've got this painting back here. Donna, you did this?
Donna Grebo, which is the artist, and she's a Raëlian here in Austin, and she takes care of the chapter in Austin.
So we have a little bit different background, at least for the first segment of this program tonight. And my allergies are killing me, so I'm going to try to muster through this. Okay, Miss Parent, or may I call you Mary
Yes,
Helen? Mary Helen. Okay.
Please do.
Tell us a little bit about what is a Raëlian priest and what is the Raëlian movement all about.
Well, the Raëlian movement comes from the word Raël, and Raël is the person who met an extraterrestrial in 1973, 6 days in a row, and he explained to Raël that how they came here 25,000 years ago and they created everything that there is on Earth right now. They created all life, they created human beings scientifically through DNA. So they're the one, and there, if you look in the original Bible in Hebrew, you can find the word Elohim. And Elohim means those who came from the sky. It's a plural. And in the current Bible that we have, it has been translated by a singular word, God, which is completely different that the word Elohim means, because the singular of Elohim is Eloha. So they're the one who came here and they created us on their image, on their likeness, like it's written. And it's their image, their likeness means that, you know, they're more than one. And if we are like them, they like us, so they're a human being like us that created us.
Okay. Now, folks, I want to just mention that I've studied the Bible rather in depth myself, and I can tell you that I'm not going to agree with everything you say here, but I can also tell you that I'm not going to agree with most of the things that organized religion says, because as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the biggest rackets going. So, keeping my views aside here, how did you first get involved in this?
It was in 1978. What happened, I found the book, of Raël's book in French, and I read it in one afternoon, and that was it. For me, it answered, and in the same time, create new questions in my head. And it makes so much sense, because everything can be explained that we can understand. There is no such thing as miracle or mystery. It's just a gap in civilization. But if you have enough scientific knowledge, everything can be understood. Even miracles that we think they're not. It's just that we cannot understand it.
So what is the Raëlian movement then? What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, we have two goals, and the primary goal is to spread the message that you have in this book everywhere on the planet. And so far we're doing very well, because there is over 35,000 members on all the continents. We are in many countries, over 85 countries. And the book has been translated in about 25 languages so far. And then, in order to build an embassy in Jerusalem or near Jerusalem. That's what the Elohim asked Raël to do. And this embassy is the third temple that the Jewish people are waiting for to build. That's going to be an embassy where there is extraterritoriality, where the Elohim can come officially, come back with all the prophets, like every great prophets. It says in their religion that they're going to come back, and they will, but like in flesh, like you and me, they're going to come back with the Elohim, and then they will be able to give us their knowledge, scientific knowledge, their wisdom, and help us to grow out of this epoch, which is chaos, and get into the golden age. And before they come, then we have to make sure that we have this embassy, and then to have a little bit more love between each other, because if they they won't come if people don't accept each other for what they are.
Okay, we had talked just briefly before the program started. Marie Ellen, right? Marie Ellen. I'm sorry. And we had talked about this. We heard it on our lead in there about this. What some of the leaders and some of the phrase of the world is a new world order.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had it was mentioned to me that you all, or at least you, had stated on Joyce Isaac's show today. I don't know, maybe I didn't get a chance to hear it because of my schedule, but that you all are on the surface support this new world order.
Not the one that they're talking about, because I don't support people who wants to rule the world just to have power. That's
the one that we're in right now.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with that. We want a world language that everybody can communicate together, but everybody will keep their own identity and their own language. But to have one language that we can all communicate together, that would be very good. And I think it's going to be English, because so far that's what it's more spread out in the world is English. So it's going to be probably the world language for everybody. But everybody will keep their own culture, their own differences, because that's what it's all about. It's to be able to be what you are in your own culture and appreciate the differences of others. And the world government will be one representative of every country will be in that council to make decisions, so the world can be a peaceful place to live in, but it will be a humanitarianism action, not something that people would like to take over and take charge, and like bankers would like to rule the world. It has nothing to do with that at all.
Well, I think that any time though where you get a situation where there's a concentration of power, whether it be the current rulers or future rulers, you're going to have that potential.
It depends on.
That's why I would. That's why I kind of am against this whole movement toward in any shape or fashion, because power corrupts. And the absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have absolute power.
So there would be as checks and balances. Okay,
yes.
But let's get more back into where I just wanted to bring that up, because that was brought up to me, and I thought, what? So I had to clarify that.
Yes.
Because I can tell you that the face of this new world order that the world's populace is facing now is not pretty.
No, I agree with you.
Unless you want, unless you're, a real good slave, and you want to be led around like a bunch of cattle and all of that.
Yeah, we want that. We don't want that.
But. So, first off, where are you from?
I'm from Montreal, but I live in Miami now. It's too cold in Montreal, and I come here and it's freezing. It was so nice in Miami. It was very, very warm.
Do you have an occupation, or?
Yes, because everybody in the movement, in the Raëlian movement, are volunteers. Nobody's paid to do. We do it on our own time and money and whatever. So everybody has a job, and we are very in the society. We're not like a commune and live apart. We are involved in the society with the people, and everybody does what they want, what they like to do to earn their living.
Now, before we I know you all got a presentation here we're going to get to in just a minute here. But before we get to that, what mostly do you want to say to the viewers of this program, what do you want to say about you? I guess what you're trying to accomplish, or what do you specifically want to say to people on this particular on the as a Raëlian priest? That's Raelian. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to say to the viewers?
Well, I can say a lot. To make a brief summary, these messages are the most important for humanity. And when the Elohim, when they met Raël, they met him so he can give their message to humanity. And it's about. You want me to talk there?
No, you look at the camera there. There's see the monitor right there. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's all right. You can talk to me. Okay, go ahead.
Look at you.
Then you can look at me.
Yes. It's. I feel good to look at you.
Okay.
And
well, you're not too bad to look at yourself. Go ahead.
And that's going to change the whole world. Because right now we are in chaos, because we are like, humanity is like a biological entity that we were born as babies and we're growing up, and like now we're about like teenagers in crisis, and if we want to pass, to get older as a humanity and to go in golden age, we need more wisdom. Because now we have a lot of scientific knowledge for our young age, but we're still babies, playing with fire. It's very dangerous. We need to have more wisdom, and those messages are wisdom. It's pure consciousness to really awaken the consciousness of humanity, so we can get in that paradise like the Elohim live in, because the Elohim went through the same path that we're going through, because they had progression in their evolution, in their humanity too. They were babies, teenagers. Now they live in paradise, and we can do that too. And with those messages are tools, meditation, how to love each other more, how to love yourself more. It's all in there. So what I can do is that I wish to everybody, it's a gift. It's a gift from space that we can use to make this world a better world. That's what we want to do.
I also have to mention too that some of my study, Raëlian would appear that this is probably delving into a little bit of New Age. Are you familiar with the New Age?
Mm-hmm.
When you're, but I'm not going to say that. I'm just bringing this up, because I've already mentioned to you that organized religion to me is one of the biggest rackets. I call it the obey Caesar churches, because basically all they do is tell you to bow down to the current rulers. That's largely their philosophy. So, but when you start talking about meditation and some of these other things, are you referring to maybe a minor type of yoga, or what are you?
Well, the techniques that the Elohim taught to Raël, it's called sensual meditation. And the sensual meditation is the awakening of the body for the awakening of the mind. Because everything you have in your mind came through your senses. All your knowledge, all your thoughts, it's because you heard it, or you saw it, or you tasted it, or you touched it, you felt it. That's why you have that knowledge in your mind. But if you would have no senses, your mind will be blank. So it means that it comes from, all you have there comes through those receptors of what surrounds you. So if you awake them, refine them, you will automatically refine and awake your brain, your intelligence, your harmony, your consciousness. So that's what the sensual meditation is all about. It's to let the place that surrounds you to give you pleasure. That's what sensuality is all about. And when I say sensuality, I'm not saying necessarily sexuality. It's two different things. You can be sensual in your sexuality, but you can be sensual when you eat a good meal, when you talk with somebody, when you look at the sun, when you look at a tree, just to feel more the infinity that surrounds you and the infinity that is in you. That's what meditation is all about. It means practice. Meditation comes from meditare, which means practice. It's to practice, and the sensual meditation is to practice your senses, to develop them, to feel more.
Do you have any? So you definitely then are of the idea that. See, I've had people on my program that talk about Pleiadians. Have you done any? well, just to get into the Greys and the Pleiadians and all the different extraterrestrials that are supposedly or flying around all over, which, just between you and me, I don't believe most of it. I do believe that there's anti-gravity aircraft, but I believe it's, again, coming from our rulers. But do you believe then that there is
There is an infinity of humanity in the universe, because the universe is infinite. So there is an infinity, and infinitely small and infinitely large. It's incredible. But on this planet, which is ours, the Elohim are the only one who come here. Or if they would allow somebody else to come, they would have to. The other one would have to have the permission of the Elohim to come here, because we are their civilization in a way, because they created us. So they kind of protecting us, but in a way, they don't really need to protect us, because there is a law. There is a this is very important. So you can't take away all the fears of the unknown who lives somewhere else very far. There is a cosmic law that says that as soon as you're capable scientifically to get out of your solar system, you're automatically peaceful. Because if you're not peaceful, suppose take as an example ourselves. We're not very peaceful yet, but we have a lot of knowledge, and soon we'll be capable to get out of our solar system. We didn't yet. But before we can go outside of our solar system, if we don't get wiser, we will destroy ourselves. So we cannot hurt other civilization in the universe, because if we're aggressive, we're going to kill ourselves, destroy ourselves before we can go outside. So the extraterrestrial who come here, they're automatically peaceful, because if they have the technology they have, which is very, very high, means that they're not aggressive anymore, because they wouldn't exist. They would have destroyed themselves. So we don't have to be scared like all the movies that they show to us to scare people. I'm wondering how much of those movies are not kind of conspiracy from people to make sure that people are scared, so they can manipulate them better. You see, it's a question to see who are behind all those movies to scare people off, so they can, be in power more of those people who are scared. We don't need to fear anything at all, because those bad people, if they are bad, they probably have, I'm sure there is bad people who live on another planet, but they can't come here. They can't.
Let's get it, if we could. This is I don't understand much of it, but anyway, these Donna made this paint, or designed this painting here, and I think it needs to at least be shown on. Do you actually want to come up here and explain any of this, and then we'll get to your other little presentation here you have. Okay. That looks like a lot of work, if you ask me.
Okay, your mic's on. Go ahead.
It looks like a lot of work to me, but that's just.
Thank you. But I did it in.
Let me get up out of your way here. Go ahead, you can stay here, Mary.
Yeah.
Do you want to just stand up here, or do you want to?
Okay, I'll stand to the side.
And then you can go ahead and do your other presentation too.
Oh, okay.
Let me get this out of your way here. Go ahead. I'll be back in the back.
I wanted to have a concept that showed one world making contact with another world, the parent and the child world, because and I have a DNA strand that transforms into the bridge. Down on the bottom, I have some major religions, and this bridge ties the religions together and ties us to our creators. And then I have welcome our scientific creators from space. And so I also have a presentation of kind of the brochure that we pass out.
I'll help you. Oops, you're in your cord.
Sorry? Okay, here we go. I'll read from the brochure, and Mary Helen will hold up the drawings. In a time when space travel, genetics, and electronics have caused a real revolution, the people of today are technologically in the future, but philosophically in a distant past. Men and women of the philosophy adapted to the technological progress of their era. The belief of guilt and their genuflection and contrition is now obsolete, as are devils and benign deities who assume the right to control others, by making people unaware of the consequences of their actions and by favoring that which is most destabilizing, suffering. Today we want a spiritual life which enhances wisdom and pleasure, improves our consciousness, and allows us to feel connected to ourselves, to all other human beings, to all living things, and to the infinite universe. This kind of spirituality does exist. It is Raelianism. People have lost the real meaning of religiosity. Religion, from the Latin, means to connect. To be religious does not mean reciting traditional prayers that we do not understand. It means feeling connected to ourselves and to the infinity which surrounds us. André Malraux said, "The third millennium will be religious or it will not be," and it is. Raelianism is an atheist religion premised on the fundamental concept, the human being. We do not need those religions that legitimize their values from divine rights, thus penalizing those who do not share their convictions. We want a universal religion that draws its legitimacy from values premised on human rights, and that is Raelian religion. The common denominator of all people is their desire to be happy and to live in a harmonious and peaceful world. So we need values which contribute to the blossoming of every person and which cultivate human idiosyncrasies in order to replace archaic values whose only function is to maintain traditions. Raelianism means living out humanistic values daily. It means loving yourself unconditionally in order to love others better. It means feeling responsible for our actions even when following orders. It means having absolute respect for life because whoever saves the life of a non-violent person saves the world. Being Raelian means campaigning for a peaceful planet without national armies, but with a worldwide army of peacemakers. This way, the national military budgets can be used to fight hunger throughout the world, and everyone has the right throughout their lifetime to have enough food, a place to sleep, some clothes, and access to education, as noted in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And there is not a single country that gives the application of these articles of paramount importance priority over the arms race. We Raelians denounce this false position. To mean Raelian also means going beyond tolerance by putting forth a concept which would guarantee peace among all people, love of differences, not a mere acceptance, but a genuine culture of sexual, racial, religious, and other diversities. The Raelians developed this new philosophy by meeting regularly, particularly during an awakening seminar, which are held on each continent. There are many hundreds of individuals are taught a philosophy centered on personal growth and meditation. Now it is proven scientifically that meditation fosters the development of our physiological and psychological potential, of which we are only 10%. Raelians practice sensual meditation. This word means training in the pleasure of the senses. This meditation permits us to increase the quality of the information that the senses transmit to the brain and gradually manage that information completely. Sensual meditation allows us to develop our capacity to harmonize ourselves with the infinity which is part of us and which surrounds us. The teachings given during these seminars also bring back the importance of pleasure to the life of each individual. They are the last straw for all the anti-pleasure institutions who have broken millions of people seeking a better existence. Isn't happiness the pleasure you feel at every moment? The Raëlian
revolution challenged existing dogmas. Our educators taught us that life on earth is the result of many strokes of good luck or the fruit of the whims of a divine being. These two theories have never been proven, leaving up in the air all existential questions that all people ask themselves. Where do we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going? The Raëlian religion brings irrational and revolutionary answers to these questions. And today we realize that we are not alone in the universe. We are traveling in space. We are discovering the mechanisms of life through genetic engineering. And now we are capable of understanding that in December 1973, a journalist named Raël met several times with a representative of an extraterrestrial civilization who told him, "We created humankind. Your ancestor has deified us. We are the origin of all religions on earth." And these people from space created humankind in their image thousands of years ago, thanks to the mastery of genetic material deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Find traces of their enormous feats in the ancient texts of many civilizations, such as the original Bible, where they are called Elohim, an ancient word meaning those who come from the sky. They initiated all the great prophets, like Buddha, Moses, Mohammed, Jesus, by giving them a message adapted to the level of consciousness of the people of their time, in order to guide humanity to the age of revelation, which we have reached since 1945. Now, in the light of our scientific progress, we can understand who they are without mystifying. The Elohim wish to come back to Earth officially to meet with the leaders of our government in an embassy acknowledged by the United Nations. And they asked Raël to send up the international Raëlian Movement and bring this message to knowledge to all humanity. And this message is in the book called The Message Given to Me by Extraterrestrials. And the messages are here to prepare humanity for the welcoming of the Elohim when they return to the temple that we will build for them soon in the future.
The last one here. Yes.
And here's the model of the embassy.
The replica. It's like a crop circle that we saw in land. One of them was the blueprint of the embassy that has to be built for the Elohim.
All right, sorry to interrupt here. Stay tuned right here on these channels for more classics from Mike Hanson Archives. But I just want to take a moment to ask for your help to fund these channels. We are asking a $25 donation to buy my book. I wrote this book about Bohemian Grove, about when Alex Jones and I snuck into the Bohemian Grove Club, and it tells all about it. Tex Mars forwarded it. He just recently passed away, so it's becoming a real collector's item. Alex has his own chapter in this book, and it's very good, full of pictures and all sorts of things. You know, George W. Bush and his father was a member of the Bohemian Club, and Junior still is. But it's a really good, thick book, and we'd appreciate a $25 donation sent to. I will definitely sign it and send it right back to you. If you want to call us at 830-672-3089. That's my office. Just leave your name and phone number, and the secretary will call you back. And you can pay with a credit card. And if you want to write us, our address is 901 St. Joseph Street, Gonzales, Texas 78629. Once again, send that $25 for this book right here, Bohemian Grove, Cult of Conspiracy. I wrote that book, forwarded it by Tex Mars. Alex Jones has a chapter in it, and a lot of other people. So we appreciate. Stay tuned to these local YouTube channels and Facebook and Instagram, and I'm on Twitter now too. So stay tuned for Mike Hanson Archives and all the classics. Most of these tapes are 25 years old or a little bit younger. Alrighty, thanks a lot and God bless. Please support us when you can, where you can. Here's the address one more time and the phone number, and we'll get right back to your viewing of these classics. Be sure to go to Mike Hanson Archives, Hanson Archives, and our new one, Waco Archives. Thanks a lot and God bless.
I love Mike Hanson Archives.
You ready to run?
Okay. So those painting, Donna did all of them, so she's a very talented woman.
Well, I try. It's kind of like my way of, I have so much inside me I want to say, and
Yeah. Y'all got some coffee?
I'm-
Can you take them real quick?
sure.
Okay. Because they've been on hold forever.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. You want to show that?
Thanks, Donna.
Okay. We have some callers on the home. Hello. We'll go ahead and take them now whenever you're all's.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jeff, let me tell you, usually, you have Galen Ross on, ex-National Security Administration. Hold on, I'm going to turn on my television.
Okay.
You hear that?
Can you put it louder a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff,
Yes, sir.
all I was going to say is this. Jeff's got a great show. He's had people on, like Galen Ross, who's been an international consultant for large oil companies, and I've seen his credentials. I've read about him in other books. He works for the National Security Administration. Jeff has a lot of great facts on his show. But I tell you, ladies, I think all this stuff that you're into is nothing but a large diversion. And I can also tell that Jeff isn't too deep into this. And I agree with Jeff. I think this is pretty nebulous, and I don't think it's on target. I think it's a diversion. And Jeff, I think you got a good show. I would just hope that you would not agree with this behavior, because mixing this in with your successful movement and the Patriot Front that we're trying to start up in this area, I think this could really. I know that you like to have a forum for people to come out and have free speech, and I understand that you don't agree with a lot of stuff you have on, but I don't know, ladies. I've been watching, and it sounds to me it's just like some kind of recycled stuff, some kind of Hinduism for the Western world, and I don't agree with it. I'm sure there are, the Hubble Space Telescope has categorized 500 billion galaxies just since it's been up the last few years and since it's been fixed. So I would agree there's probably life all over space. But I think this is all diversion. We need to worry about the tax bracket, the police powers, the thumb scanning, the microchips. All this is real. This is all well known. And Jeff, I saw your intro with the first. I enjoyed seeing that on your intro. It showed one of the thumb scanners that are being installed in all major states now. And I was watching C-SPAN the other day. For people's information out there, it's called the National Surveillance System, and it's a $400 million building. Just the equipment costs $400 million.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. All right. Now, you've stated that you're against this enslaving system that the current regime has.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what is this question. If you have a question.
Do you have a question or
Well,
comment?
my question is this. I'll start listening to you, and you can bring an alien on TV and show me one. And, this stuff may be real, but it doesn't matter. There's so much factual stuff that's so damn strange that's happening in this country now, and there's so much incredible BS. Folks, we got that right here in Texas. You go down, you'll be computer scanned, your thumb, and you're not a criminal, but it's being done to you to get a driver's license or renew your driver's license, and they have built a national grid. It's supposed to be up by 1998. They've got the giant computer system. It's in Langley, Virginia, right next door to the CIA. So that's all real. All I'm saying, and all I'm asking this lady is hey, I think that you shouldn't come out against the globalists and the New World Order. And I was just watching C-SPAN and saw Gorbachev on there earlier today at some big conference, some big global conference. So this is all real. But your alien stuff, I'd like to see you back it up with some fact right in my face until I start believing it. And please, Jeff, don't mix this in with the movement. I know you probably don't agree with it. Have a good evening.
Take care. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let you respond.
Well, you didn't ask any question. So what he says, it's his own belief, and I respect that. So if it's what he believes, that's fine.
Let me ask you, do you travel around and go on different shows and whatnot, or?
Yes, and we give a lot of lecture in university and everywhere around the world. And
do you have a lot of people doubting it, what you're saying, or?
Yes, but it's okay. We're not here to convince anybody. We're just here to give the information that was given to Raël for all humanity. There is people who are ready to take it, there is people who are not, and it's fine. If somebody is Catholic or Baptist or Jewish and he's happy, that's fine.
See, my situation is as a talk show host. Yes. I'm just trying to in fact, I don't think that there's anybody that I've had on my program that I agree with 100%. Not one person.
Yes.
Okay, so I think just as a talk show host, I think that I don't see anything wrong with having people that I don't have to agree with on everything. I think that obviously there's something. You all think this is something, and I think you should have the right to be able to express your.
This is very important. For some people, it looks so foreign that they don't see it because it comes from somewhere else on another planet. But this is about us. This is where we come from. This is answering all the big questions: why, when, who, where. This is answering everything. And it's all the questions we have about ourselves for years. Where do we come from? Where are we going? And I think it's not something that doesn't involve ourselves. It involves us because it's all about us. And he might not talk about all what that gentleman talked about precisely, but doesn't mean it's not as important as what he's talking about. It might be more important, but it's not because he doesn't see it that it's not important. It's not because nobody sees the truth that it's not there.
I think what he was referring to is like I frequently have like congressional bills that I think are just designed nothing more to put more laws on us, make us more slaves. And you can slap that bill up on a camera and read people where they're trying to do this or do that or make hate crimes or whatever they're trying to. Whereas what he's saying maybe is that since there hasn't been an alien or anything like this that's been thrown in front of us.
Well, then at masochists, do you think they're going to come here?
Well,
hey, we got full calls.
Okay.
Because they don't want to be killed. We don't have enough respect for differences.
And one more time,
we're too intolerant.
Make it clear, Raël, that you absolutely agree. You absolutely are totally against this current brand of world government.
Of course. Of course, because what we're talking about in the book about world government has nothing to do with what's going on now, because what's going on now, it's a power trip.
Right.
And that has nothing to do at all.
Okay.
So
Okay, next caller, you're on the air.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, you?
All right. Now, the word Elohim is, where do you get that from?
It's a Hebrew word, which means those who came from the sky.
And where does that come from?
If you look in all the original Bible in Hebrew, and there is few Bible in English that kept the word Elohim, but very few. It has been all mistranslated by the word God, singular.
And then you're saying it's a plural, which is
yes.
extraterrestrial.
You can find it in the dictionary.
Well, and the other thing is, I've seen some of your material playing, and what is the relationship between the Elohim? Isn't there some political division on the home world or something where, with regard to the experiment that's going on here, regarding the genetic manipulation and such? Wasn't there in your doctrine and your material? Isn't there something that explains a political disagreement between the basically the founders of this project and some of the other
On their planet, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Because when they came here, created everything on this planet, some people on their planet agreed with it and others were not, because when we have been created, there was a group that said that this creation is not good, they're too aggressive, and it's a bad experience that we did. But the people who were here and created us really took their defense, and they wanted to protect us, and that's what they did when they destroyed everything on the planet. Noah's Ark was a space shuttle that kept all the cells of every species that were created, and they preserved it up there from the
ones
destruction.
that weren't contaminated with extraterrestrial semen or whatever, right? The extraterrestrial gene pool became mixed with the planned project gene pool, and that was disagreed with. That had to be put to an end. But my issue is this, that this word Elohim comes from the Bible.
Yes.
There is possibly going to be some war over this in amongst the extraterrestrials, but amongst the am I still with you?
Yes.
Okay, I heard so. Anyway, there's might be some serious disagreement between some of the authorities and some of the other people who are supposed to be our pals here. So all I'm saying is I don't have any problem with extraterrestrials being involved in the planning and all that of the planet, but the fact that the Raëlian doctrine and such and information that I received, they ignore the parts of the Bible that doesn't agree with that view of the human being, the humanist view. And they ignore the creator, like there was a creator before there was any stars or before there was anything. But in the beginning there was God. Okay.
That's the translation of in English.
Are you saying that the Elohim were here before the first star was created, before the heavens and the earth were laid down?
Actually, in the origin, the Elohim didn't create the earth. They created everything that was on the earth. And the planets were there, and it.
So there was no before everything. Everything always was.
There
always
is no
will
beginning.
Be.
That's what the symbol I'm wearing is explaining.
I know. Yeah.
It
represents eternal.
It represents infinity in time and space.
Right.
And in the creations of human being in every level, there is no beginning, no end.
Well, Christ Himself, Jesus, one of your people who has been appointed by the Elohim, one of your people who has been raised, Himself is saying that God will be here after the last star is burned out, and and He says, "I don't come to bring peace, but division," and He says all of these other things. Now,
Jesus was sent by the Elohim. He was a prophet, like many of them, like Buddha, Muhammad, Joseph Smith.
Well,
about
he doesn't
40
seem to agree with anything you're saying here.
Oh yes, we're saying the same thing. It's just that we.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, because Jesus, when he talked to the people in this time, he couldn't talk the same way that Raël talks, but they were saying the same thing. But he was talking to primitive people. They couldn't understand, and when I say primitive, means with no scientific knowledge. So he couldn't say the same thing the same way that Raël is. Raël is here to demystify everything, to bring the truth about our origin scientifically, which is different, but they're saying the same thing, because Jesus was one of them. He was coming from an earthly woman, and his father was one of them. So when he was talking about his father being in the sky, he was right, because his father lives on another planet. And when he was saying that he was talking about God, he was not talking about God, he was talking about Elohim, if you take the original Bible. Because of course, if you take the Bible in English or French or whatever, they talk about God, because it has been translated like that. But it's plural. Elohim, it's a plural because the singular is Eloha. And if you take, when they say we created human beings on their, they created human beings on their image, on their likeness, it's a plural. And they say that we are like them, so they're human beings like us. They look like us and we look like them. When they came on this planet, they created 7 laboratories where they created the 7 different races, which is very important because we all come from them. Whatever the color of your skin, you have been created by a group of Elohim on their image. Means that on their planet they have different races too. Not only white, not only black, not only yellow, whatever, but it's differences, which is beautiful. To be different and to respect the differences. You know, to respect the philosophy of somebody else. It's very important. You know, I respect somebody who is Catholic because if it's what makes him happy, it's important. The most important thing is to be happy. That's the most important thing. And to respect people.
Okay, folks, we're visiting with Marie Helen Parent. She is a Raelian priest from, you're living in Miami now, but you were in
Montreal. I come from Montreal, Quebec.
And if I hope you all can understand her accent.
I hope so. You let me know if you don't understand.
I'm doing it. I've got it down now.
Yes.
Okay, next caller. You're on the air, caller.
Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Hey, I think that, not the caller that just called in, but before that had to have been Alex. And Alex Jones. And it seems to me that Alex is calling up. He gets ranting on his show. Then he gets on your show and rants. Then he calls in on every show and rants and raves. And, geez, that guy gets enough airtime. Anyway, now, young lady, in regards to what you're talking about here, doesn't the Bible says, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. And when you say that the Muhammad and Buddha and these other prophets said the thing is Jesus Christ, that's absolutely not correct, because Jesus Christ, these other prophets, the other religions, Buddhism, Hinduism, and everything, the way to the Godhead or the way to eternal salvation is through good works, through self-sacrifice, through mortification of the flesh. And the true Christian religion, the way to salvation is through the death and shedding of blood of Jesus Christ. He paid the price for our sins. We were redeemed if we believe that and ask Him to come in. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the other thought systems of these other religions, these beliefs. Now, what's your response to that?
Well,
we're in the middle of pictures here, but go ahead.
Well, like I said a little bit earlier, every the prophet that they came, they were not saying like the exact thing, the same way, because it was adapted to the people in those times and to the country where they were, because Muhammad was in a different area that Jesus was, so he had to be adapted to the people who were there and in the time that was done. But they were all sent by the Elohim. All the religion have the same origin. We all come from the Elohim. So there is not a religion better than the other one. It was just that at this particular time, it was like in one epoch there is only one prophet that they sent. They never sent 2 prophets in the same time. So when Jesus came, he was the only one in this time. So everything that went through the Elohim went through him. But don't forget that in the Bible there is a lot of things that are not written properly, because, like, for example, the New Testament is the worst, because the New Testament was written many years after Jesus died. Nothing was written in the time of Jesus, nothing at all. It was like 200-300 years after, and it was a tradition of word to word with people that couldn't understand anything that they were saying, and it was word to word for almost 300 years, and after they decided to write things. So can you imagine how deformed it could have been? It's like if you played the game of the telephone. We could do it here with 4 or 5 people, and then you say one word, and at the end it's completely different, and in few seconds. So can you imagine in 300 years how it came up after? So his message was a message of love, of having more love between each other. That's what the prophet, their mission was all about. So we could survive through the time and get to this age where we are now, which is the age of the revelation, the age of the apocalypse. We're very privileged to live in this time because we'll see everything. It's the most important time of the humanity is now, because the Elohim will come back with all those prophets. Everything will be understood. And it's going to be in this generation. We're going to see everything. And maybe you're going to be there, Jeff, and be able to interview the Elohim.
All right. Next caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
How you doing?
Just fine, Jeff. How are you?
Just doing all right.
Hey, man, Alex is really, he's going off, dude. You need to get control of him.
Whoops. All right. For some reason, that got disconnected. Next caller, you're on the air.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. I agree with the first 3 previous callers. This religion this lady is preaching is none other than has been around since the time of Cain. It's a religion he started, and it's gone through Hinduism. And I mean, you know, Jesus Christ said he was the way, the truth, and the life. And he did not ever claim to be a prophet. He said that he was the Son of God, which is different than these other prophets, Muhammad and all of these others. They had all their different religions. You can say it came to different people, to different places, different times throughout the world. But there was, if all of these other religions are correct, then everybody can do their own thing and get to heaven, if you will, on their own merits or their own religions. But Christ said that he was the only way. And this is through the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. None of the others, so-called prophets, raised from the dead to prove what they were saying was true. And there just is no other way. Anything that is contrary to what he taught or what he believed is Antichrist, is the spirit of Antichrist. And there's Christ being, meaning that he was the anointed one of God. He is the Son of God. And if he is the Son of God, the Elohim, and yes, that is a plural word, and you can read that in Genesis right on through. It talks about all that, and it is one God.
Okay, did you
Well, I answered that already.
You did?
Yes, that, you know, if you take the real original Bible, you don't find the word God, you find Elohim. And there is other ways. I mean, Jesus was one of the prophets. The prophet means prophetess, which means the one who reveals. So Jesus come here and reveal something. Muhammad was here and revealed something. And they were all sent. He was the only one in his time. That's what he was saying. I'm the only one now that is connected with the Elohim. But in the time of Muhammad, he was the only one then, prophet, that was sent by the Elohim. And Jesus was the fruit, like I said before, of an earthly woman and a man from there, an Eloah. So he was special in that way that for the first time, they created their prophet that way. And so that's why he was talking about his father in the sky, and his father was an Eloah, Was not. If he didn't say that he was the son of God, because God doesn't exist in Hebrew. The word God, it's Elohim, and all our Bibles comes from Hebrew. That was written in Hebrew. Jesus was speaking Hebrew. He was not speaking English. So he was speaking this language. And with the translation, a lot of mistake, and a lot of mistake too because of the oral tradition of what Jesus was saying. The most accurate written document that we can find, a little bit of in the Genesis and in the Kabbalah, which is pretty good in accurate information in the Kabbalah.
Okay, next caller, you're on the air.
Hello, Jeff.
How you doing?
Listen, man, I agree with a lot of the things that Mary's saying tonight. The only thing that concerns me is that, supposedly, if you read Revelations and you get off all into that end of it, someone's going to come and supposedly have all the answers. And it's also stated that even the most elect will be deceived. And I think that's the scary part of this deal. You with me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, does that make any sense to you guys? I mean, someone comes, they've got all the answers to our environmental problems. They've got our, they can solve it all. But yet, who are these people? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was announced that in the time of the Revelation, in the time of the Apocalypse, they would send their last prophet, the Paraclete that they call it in the Bible, the one who will tell the truth. And Raël's book in French is called The Book Which Tells the Truth. And he is the last prophet that they send on this planet. Of course, it's hard to believe for most of us because we don't. Why him? Why not me? Why not this person? But you need somebody to be that messenger that will come, and he is the last one before they come back here. And he's the Messiah that the Jewish people are waiting for. He's the one who reveals everything, who has all the answer of what you're talking about.
Well, I think what I'm talking about, and I don't want to get too traditional, I'm just thinking Antichrist, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Antichrist means before Christ, and it was John the Baptist, because ante, if you speak Latin, means before. So Antichrist was before Christ. It means the one who announced Christ. It was John the Baptist that was the Antichrist.
Oh gosh, John the Baptist was Jesus' cousin, right? I mean,
he was the one
who baptized Jesus.
He was the one who prepared the welcoming of Jesus before he came.
Well, all I was referring to is the fact that supposedly some of the the saints, the Christians, would be deceived by this miraculous happening that you're referring to.
I don't know. I never heard about that.
It's in the Bible.
Well, a lot of things in the Bible are. Don't forget that a lot of things in the Bible were written, first of all, a long time after Jesus died, and the church had a lot of dogma, many years after Jesus was gone.
Right.
The Virgin Mary, it's not a long time ago that they decided that she was virgin.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the time of Jesus that she was declared virgin. It was a few hundred years ago by the church.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with the message of Christ at all.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, make some research and you'll find out. If you take the history of the Catholic Church, you'll see all the dogma where they went voted, and all the decision when the Trinity was voted. All this was not in the time of Jesus. It was a lot of years after. And if you study that, you'll find...
I realize a lot of that was written hundreds of years later, like you're saying.
Yes, and it was not the message of Jesus himself.
Well, John, was exiled on Patmos, and he wrote a lot of that in Revelation.
John, the apostle?
Yes.
None of the apostles?
No, there are like 2 or 3 different Johns. John the Baptist. I think there's still some controversy over who John was of Patmos.
But nothing was written by the apostle after, because it's always saying according to John, according to Mark, according to
He's
Matthew.
referring to the one
Yes,
with
it's the
book.
tradition, the verbal tradition that they did was according to them, but they never wrote anything. The apostle that were with Jesus, nothing was written by them at all.
Right. So if it, okay, the Elohim, that's who you're saying this is.
Yes.
How does, is Satan involved anywhere in this deal?
Satan?
Yes.
Yes, Satan was is an Eloah, is an extraterrestrial, is one of the Elohim. And
he also has a band of angels with him, does he not?
the thing is that he's the one who was against the creation on this planet.
Exactly.
Like we answered earlier, that there was a party that was against this creation because he was saying that it was not successful and we were too aggressive and we should be destroyed.
Right.
We should be destroyed. So he's the one who passed tests to a lot of the prophets, of the great people we see that in the Bible. He passed tests to them to prove, he wanted to prove to Yahweh, which is the president of the Elohim, that we were not good. So Satan, the devil, is the same person, because devil comes from diabolos, which means calumniator. That he was saying calumny. You can see this word in English, calumny, false things. Is it the word? Calumnia. So he was saying, like, he was testing those people to see if they really, really love the creators. So he's the one who tried to prove that we shouldn't be deserve to live because we're not successful, we're too aggressive. And Lucifer was, it's another person, it's not the same person, is the president of, it was the president on earth to regulate the creation in then, because Lucifer means the light. He was bringing the light and on this planet by creating people. So if we are on this planet alive right now, it depends of Lucifer, because he's the one who really defend us and talk for us and say that we're good and we're going to get better and it's going to be successful. And Yahweh is the president on their planet.
Okay. Next caller, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Curtis. I wanted to talk to Miss Parent about a couple of things.
Yes.
I watch your show that y'all present every once in a while on Access. I guess it's a 30-minute, maybe even an hour-long show. And there's a couple of things about it that I find kind of curious.
Mm-hmm.
After the Elohim come, or whatever's going to happen, are we all going to sport around in those robes like Raël wears?
Raël doesn't wear a robe.
He wears that white garment?
This is him. This is this fellow right here.
Yes.
This is. Do you want to get a close up of this, or do you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
all right, we'll
can
get
show.
This is. You claim this fellow then is what's his role in all? He's
the last messenger sent by the Elohim, and his mission is to demystify and explain scientifically the truth about our origin that all the prophets explained before, but had to explain it adapted to the people on their time.
Okay. Yeah.
And people dress the way they want. I mean, if somebody wants to wear a robe, it's their choice. But actually, right now, Raël doesn't wear a robe.
Okay.
Unless he's going out of his shower, I don't know.
The other brief thing was about half the time when they zoom in on your picture here, the UFO that's behind you, or the flying saucer, looks like a pair of horns coming out of your head. So, the connection with Satan there is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it does, as we're looking at it, yeah.
So, I hope everybody pays attention to that. So, good
original.
night.
Thanks. Hey, that is a lot of work for that drawing.
Yes.
Whether anybody agrees with it or not, or I'm just saying it is a lot of work in the drawing. Okay, next caller, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
So, basically, your religion, I guess it's a religion, is
Yes.
basically just total anti-Bible, because the Bible wasn't written after Jesus. In fact, most of it was written 4,000 years before him, when Moses was there. That's when most of the Old Testament started being written.
Mm-hmm.
Past that time. and there was, lots of prophets living together at the same time. People used to prophesy in groups. None of them mentioned anything you're talking about. All the prophecies in the Bible led up to Jesus and Jesus coming back. Even Muhammad, none of that stuff was in the Bible. Jesus was the last one, and he's coming back to take over the earth. So the only point I'm trying to make is, if you're saying something different, then it's not harmonious with what the Bible is saying. So you basically have a religion that was written by that guy. Is that true? I mean, who defined? I saw one of your shows on TV here where they were all sitting around a table eating dinner, and they said, "You go to Earth and go do this," and they zapped them off the picture, and they went flying to the Earth. Who wrote that? Who decided that's what was happening?
I don't remember that.
Well,
that
there's a show on one of these channels where all the Elohims are sitting around eating. And they all had blonde hair.
She probably didn't get a chance to see that. She's living in Florida.
Well, even the all the stuff you're talking about.
No, it's something else that has nothing to do with us. Jesus in the Bible announced that it's going to be somebody else after him that will come to tell the truth. And if you read your Bible properly, he didn't say he was the last one. He announced somebody else. The Paraclete is called the Paraclete.
The other point is, I basically think Lucifer's a dork. For one.
Well, okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, there are people on this planet who are still faithful to Yahweh. I'd say that Jesus was his son, and I think that first will come. And if anybody was the Paraclete or whatever you're saying, I think it was Muhammad. And he talks of the Antichrist too, and he talks about these times and one coming first who is a great deceiver, abomination of desolation, standing on Mount Zion and proclaiming himself God. Okay, now Yahweh is faithful to his people. He never has wanted to destroy his people. There is a war going on. It's going on here on earth and up in heaven, and basically Yahweh's dudes are coming to kick some butt and take some names, and we're going to see it all happen here not too far in the future.
I have to see. That's kind of where I see. My position is on all this, Marie Ellen. Is that the Antichrist forces are in complete control of this world right now.
Well, what's in it is in control of this world.
So anybody that's righteous on any front is I think they're very much the minority.
Yeah, I think what the responsibility that this world doesn't go well, it's not on any force outside of ourselves. We create everything which is on this planet. The human being, the society, we are responsible for the mess we are in. Nobody else. There is no Antichrist coming and doing that to us. We are responsible. I think it's the first step.
Well, let me ask you. You've talked about these bankers, these world bankers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now maybe the people are responsible for the fact that they have allowed themselves to fall victim to them. But the fact is, these people, these ones that create and finance wars and whatnot, they are in fact perpetrating their system.
Yeah, but they're human beings. They're human beings like you and me.
Yes, they're human beings, but they're still. I mean, whatever religion they would. I mean, you're talking about wicked people here.
Yes, there is wicked people everywhere. But the wicked people, don't forget, we are responsible for that. The humanity created those people. Hitler, as an example, is the result of a whole humanity, a thinking of a whole humanity. The events create the man. It's not the man that creates the event. With all that we do, we create those people. With the education that we give to our children, the value that we give to our children, we are responsible. We cannot put the blame only on the people who are bad and do bad things, because we are responsible in a way of the way they are. All of us.
I agree with that.
All of us.
I agree with that.
You know, it's very easy to point the finger.
Couldn't be wouldn't be ruling over us
No.
and doing this stuff
If
we
they would have had a good education.
or if we would have kept them in line.
Yes, well, sure, anything, but I mean, we were, especially like Hitler had a mother and a father. Which kind of education he had to be that kind of evil person? It's just an example, but he got an education that brought him to be like that. So we are responsible. We are responsible to let movies that are aggressive to be on TV, that will engender aggressive people later, maybe another Hitler. We are responsible of that. It's too easy to point out the finger and say it's his fault. It's all our fault. And we have part to play in this humanity to make it better. It's too easy to sit back and say, well, it's the Antichrist who does everything bad. I'm not doing anything bad. But are you doing something good? Are you bringing something good in this humanity? What do you do? What do we, each of us, do to bring something good, positive to this humanity? It's too easy to say it's the fault of the society, it's the fault of the government. It's all our fault. We are responsible for our happiness. We are responsible for our sadness. We are responsible for all the emotion we have for what's happening in our life. 100%.
Okay, we're visiting. In case you just joined us, we're visiting with Marie Helen Parent. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Jeff.
Hey,
You got it.
She's a Raelian priest. And next caller, you're on the air.
Hold on.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, I wanted to thank Alex for calling in tonight. I 100% agree with his point of view. I do feel that this is a total diversion to what we are trying to accomplish with this program. And that's about all I have to say.
What do you try to accomplish with this program,
Well,
Jeff? Tell me.
Basically, we would classify this program as what some would label as a patriot program, meaning that that we don't want to sacrifice the United States of America to a new world order. Meaning we don't want to give up U.S. sovereignty to a World Trade Organization, to the United Nations, to these what I would call the people who control this system. They're different front organizations.
So I fit right in.
You fit?
Yes, because I don't agree. I agree with you.
You don't. Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. So that's you don't support that either, then, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then. Next caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that either this lady is extremely ignorant about...
Well, do you mind these types of calls, or we really don't need personal ones?
Well, it's a lack of respect.
I'm not trying to be personal, but it's either got to be ignorance or the lady is outright liar, because some of the things she's said, like the spirit of Antichrist, which is alive and well in the world, it has been for a number of years. She says it means before Christ. Well, Scripture is plainly shows that that's not what the meaning of it is. It's instead of Christ. And any spirit that's trying to preach any other gospel other than Jesus Christ is the spirit of Antichrist. And it's talked about in the last days in Revelation, Antichrist and all of these teachings that'll be common in the last days. And as far as these extraterrestrials and everything, this is a very popular thing in this day, especially. And people are looking for answers to the world's problems and the new world order and all this and that. And these are not answers. These are not truths. These are lies.
But ask me a question, I can give you answer, because since I'm here, everybody talk about Antichrist and they go on and on and on. But ask me any question, and maybe I can give you the answer that are in the book, which is a very full of answers that I didn't give maybe just a little tiny pieces tonight, because it depends on the question I have.
Well, it's not a question.
It's always the same question, the same statement.
Yeah, it's not a question. It's the statements you're making that are not true. I'm just trying to bring out the other side of what the Scripture says, because the things you're saying are not true. You said that there's someone coming later that is going to tell us the truth.
Yes.
Well, that denotes, or that intimates that Jesus Christ was a liar, because he said, I am the truth.
He was the truth for his time when
And
he
he
was
said-
talking,
yes,
but
but
he's not a liar.
He
and
also
he
said-
announced
He also said that-
he announced that somebody else after him will come to tell the truth. And I cannot state the
But what will he
place in
tell?
the Bible where it's said. But if you read the Bible, you're going to read that.
I know the Bible.
Well, read it again, because it's written in the Bible. It is
Yeah.
called the Paraclete.
He said that there will be another. He said
Yes.
there will be another that will
Yes.
come in his own name.
And he will tell
and
the
people
truth.
would believe him.
And I'm going to tell you a little
But
bit
he
more.
didn't say he would tell the truth. He said it would be a lie.
No. He
He
said this person will come, and his name is. He would be the Paraclete that will bring the truth, and the mystery of God will be over. It's written exactly like this in the Bible.
Yeah, I know what it's written like.
Yes, and so.
But he
Next
said
question,
that there would be a
something
strong
else.
delusion that would come upon the people, and that they would choose to believe a lie rather than the truth. And
Maybe you are living in a lie.
no, I know the truth. I know Jesus Christ.
You were there when he was here? You listened to him?
I'm here now, and he's still here. See, he said he was from the beginning, and Jesus wasn't just for that time that he walked on the planet. He said he was in the beginning, and he will be in the end. I mean, he's always been Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Yeah, because he's eternal. He lives on the planet of the Elohim. He's kept alive with the scientific. That's how
Jesus is
that's
part
how
of
we
the-
can be alive. It's the Elohim has that scientific knowledge that with cloning, that's something we can understand, because we know how it works. To take one cell of your body, you can recreate the entire personality and body of
Well,
this
Jesus
person.
is part of the Elohim.
And that's how they keep all the prophets alive, eternal on their planet, by this scientific knowledge that they have. And if you deserve to be recreated when you die, if you deserve eternity with after the last judgment, that's how they keep you alive, scientifically. Because when you die, there is no, because the soul, the people what call the soul that people have, is the DNA. We are made, Jesus was saying that we are made of dust, of a handful of dust, and we're going to go back to dust. What he meant is that the way we are created, we created from inert matter from the earth, with the DNA, which is matter too, but that matter has a specific function, that it's like it creates blueprints of the inner matter, and that's what makes you blue eyes, beautiful, gorgeous man, and all this. That's what the DNA is all about.
Well, if the DNA is the soul,
I'm really
which you,
not going to refute any of that.
if the DNA is
So
the soul,
that's
which
the
you just
soul.
said,
That's the soul of human being. But when you die, this DNA is programmed in itself to it's programmed to organize the unorganized matter. And after a certain time, like we are programmed to live about 120 years old if we would be healthy. After that, the matter goes back to the unorganized state in the earth, and that's it. So you are alive for a short period of time. You become aware of the infinity. You are infinity becoming aware of yourself. That's what life is all about, that little period of time. And if the science do something about it, then you were created and you can be eternal if you deserve it, like in the Last Judgment. It's what it's written. And we are followed all our life. We know, the Elohim knows, they listen to us right now. They know, well, they're probably not sitting there and listening, but they know, they can know what we're talking, they can know what you're thinking, what I'm thinking. They know everything for every human beings on this planet, because we have different different vibration. And in those vibrations, all we think, all we do, is coded in those waves. and they have a kind of a big computer. I try to explain in very simple words so we can all understand. They have like big computers and kept all those vibrations from everybody, and they know everything of a person from when he's born until he dies, and then they can judge if that person deserves to be recreated.
What's your opinion on the organized religion then? I mean, do you have
like the big religion like Catholicism, Baptism, it all comes from the same place, like I said. And a religion means it's important to study etymology, to understand what a word means. And religion comes from religare, the Latin one, which means a link between the people and a link with your creator. And to have a link between the people, it's important to be organized. Like if you want to achieve a goal, like for the Raelians as an example, the Raelian church, it's if we all believe in it, but we're all over the place without organizing to have an interview tonight with you, nothing will happen. We will never build an embassy if we're not organized to do it. We have to put our strength together to achieve our goal. And we want to change the whole planet. We want to make this world a better world. It's a big task, very big task. So it's important that we are working together as a team towards the same direction. And the Catholic did the same thing with the word of Jesus. You know, they built a huge church. They succeeded their mission, but they had to get organized to get there.
I had to do this. Okay. Next caller, you're on air. I get criticized.
Hello?
You're on the air, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question. When you were talking about building the embassy in Jerusalem, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Well, you were just answering some of my questions, but you're going to get organized to build the embassy in Jerusalem, right?
Or near Jerusalem, or it depends how Israel will react. If they accept to give a land with extraterritoriality where we can build that embassy.
But it's destined to happen according to you, right?
Yes, it will happen. It might not be in Jerusalem or near Jerusalem. It might be somewhere else, depending on the reaction of the people from Israel.
Okay, my next question is, if when they do come and not everybody accepts them or whatever, they turn away from them, what's going to happen to those people that don't believe in them or refuse to? Do they want us to follow them then, or what do they want from us after that, after they come and meet us?
They don't want anything from us. They love us. They're our parents from space. They created us. We are their children. They want the best for us. They want to come because we have something to have from them. They have nothing to have from us.
Right.
We have everything to learn from them. We have the scientific advance they have, we can have from them. Their wisdom, we can learn so much from them. If they come, it's because they want to give us a gift. They don't expect anything from us.
Okay.
And when they come, a lot of people who are not ready for this will go into big trauma, because it's going to be a big change, and that's why it's important. That's why they appear all the time, everywhere. It says in the Bible that in the time of Revelation, of the apocalypse, there will be a lot of sign in the sky, and the sign in the sky, it's the apparition of UFO everywhere. So they can, the population can be prepared to that, because it's going to be a big shock when they come, big shock. And we have to be prepared mentally and physically to have a place for them. And what we want is that we spread this message as much as we can everywhere, because we want at least people know about it. You don't have to agree, but you'll know. And when they come, you say, I remember. I heard it. And I thought it was crazy. I thought it was, quite interesting. But you had an opinion, but one day you will have the fact, because they will come.
Okay. Did I understand you to also say that the Raelians, they believe in a last judgment?
Yes.
And are the Elohim going to be the one to judge everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
because they won't recreate somebody who is miserable, who don't have fun. who don't like life. Why would it would be a torture for that person to recreate him for eternity, to be miserable for eternity?
That's one thing. Nobody can fault me for say that I don't get enough fun in my life. Maybe I'm one of them. You're on the air, caller. Hey, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
Good, you?
Hi.
Doing pretty good. Have you ever seen an alien?
You're talking to Jeff now, huh?
No, I'm talking to you.
No, I've never seen one, so.
No, I haven't.
You haven't? So you're kind of taking Raël, is that his name? Your
Raël.
leader? Raël. You're taking his word on it, right?
Well, you really have to read the book to understand that what his messages are very, very logical and make you understand things. And it's like if my life was, if I take my example, was like a big puzzle, a lot of pieces everywhere. And when I read the message, it put everything together. It like makes sense. For once in my life, everything makes sense. Everything in my life makes sense because of this. So it's not like I take his word and I believe and I don't understand. When I read the book, and all the Raelians who read the book, it's like all of a sudden you understand something, and it's inside. It's something that lives there. It's like if the message were there even before I read the book. And when I read the book, I recognized it. It was there already. And I don't need to see extraterrestrial or aliens to understand that there is no way in this universe that we can be alone. It's impossible. It's infinite. It would be very, very looking at our belly button to see that we are the only one in this universe. There is an infinity and for me it makes sense to. Before Raël's messages, there was two possibilities of how we came on this planet. Only two. God, sitting on a cloud with his magic stick and created everything in 6 days. Does it make sense to you? And then the evolution, that we come from a monkey, that our grandfather is a monkey, that we evolve, and with everything that there is in nature. I live in a place where there is a lot of nature and butterflies, and you see Donna has at her place a peacock. You call it peacock? It is so beautiful. The color. How can evolution create something like that? Impossible. You can put letters in a bag and shake it for millions of years. It will never make a dictionary. Never. It doesn't happen like this. So that was the two possibility. Okay. Doesn't make sense. And now there is this third possibility, that we have been created by human being like us in laboratory, scientifically with the DNA. That, for me, that made so much sense. A lot more than those two possibilities.
Well, who created these people that created
Finally,
Jesus?
A good question.
Well, I haven't studied this subject very much, I have to admit that. So then who created these people?
The Elohim were created by another races from another planet. And it's the eternal cycle of creation. They were created by other human beings, they created us, and soon we will create other human beings on another planet somewhere. It's in our gene to perpetuate life in universe. We're like a virus, want to perpetuate our lives everywhere in this big being. And it's in ourselves. There is no beginning. It's very hard to conceive that and understand that, because we think always that there is a beginning. But if you think that there is a beginning, means that somebody that comes from nothing, like nothing were there, the Mr. Nothing was there, because if it's something, there is matter, and that matter come from somewhere, has to be a beginning. But if there is a beginning, means that something were created from nothing. It's impossible. Means that the matter always existed. Because for me, it's less trouble in my mind to think that there is a beginning, but because it's impossible to think there is a beginning. When you make a cake, you cannot make a cake without flour, without this and this and this. You need ingredients, you need matter to create something. And to create human beings, you need matter. And where that matter comes from. if you imagine that there is a beginning of it, means that it has been created from nothing. So there is no beginning. We come from human being, and those human beings come from other human being eternally. That's the infinity. That's what the symbol represents, the infinity in cycle, in time and space.
Well, Marie Helen Parent, I'm going to get it. We have to wrap this up. First off, I want to just ask you, what do you got to do to become a Raelian priest? You got to go through some course or something, or how do you become a certified Raelian priest?
Well, we have seminars.
Because I know you have a little entourage with you here today. Are these people also vying to be Raelian priests, or are they under your study? Or
there is different stage, and I know Donna is a level 3, which is assistant guide, and it's by attending a lot of seminars and growing, awakening your consciousness. And Raël chooses his priest and his bishop to work with him.
This fellow's still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's alive. Yeah.
And finally, do you all have a number or a P.O. box or something you'd like to get mentioned
the phone number is...
Are we ready?
Yeah, it's on TV. No, it's yours, Jeff, isn't it?
No, that's television.
Okay, what's your number? 473 7115.
Give them to the
Yeah, it's going to be written on the screen. It's a voicemail, so please leave your phone number. We will call you back.
You can meet her at library meetings.
And I think they will put on the screen.
Well,
yeah, they will put on the screen all the because I'm here to give lectures all week in the libraries, and the first one will be tomorrow night, and I think they were supposed to put that on the screen. I don't exactly know where it is. It's in my purse actually somewhere. But they're going to write it down before the end where it's going to be. And then we're going to show a video. We will answer more questions. We can discuss.
You mean at your
about
seminar? Or your
for the lecture here this week we're going to have. And on Sunday...
Where's the one that you hit? So okay. I guess they're going to put up slate on.
Yes. And Sunday, this Sunday coming up, we will have, on Sunday morning, we're going to have a meditation. I will guide a meditation to teach people how the central meditation is done. So for the one who are interested to know what is the central meditation, they are welcome to come. Everything's free. Could you tell Donna to bring, Linda, could you tell Donna to bring the poster with because I don't know which
right
library.
There's the number.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, there's the number there for.
Yes.
Now that's the kind of local coordinator for the Raëlian Movement.
Yes, Donna. It's Donna Grabo that answered those call. And tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, it's at the Pleasant Hill Library in Austin. And then on Thursday, 7 o'clock, Little Walnut Creek Library in Austin too. And Saturday at 12:30, it's going to be at the Austin History Center, 810 Guadalupe Street. So if you didn't have time to catch all this, you can always call at the number you just saw. And for the people who want information, we are on the internet. So it's you have to help me in English. I don't know how to say that.
I'm a metal midget on this myself. HTTP. I guess anybody that knows computers knows that. And then that semicolon / www. Rael
for Raël, yes.
.org.
Yes, and if you browse on the internet, you can even just write Raelian, Raelian, and all the page will appear to you, and you have more information of what it's all about.
We could get the number up. Okay, right there's the number. That's the right number, Donna. That's the right number. The one that's
Is it the right number?
That's my number, yes.
Yes.
That's the number for information on these seminars or anything else?
Yeah, free library lectures this week.
Okay, 473-7115. I've got to admit it's been very fun. You said it would be fun, and it's been fun.
Yes, I'm glad you're happy.
As cute as they were, though. All right. go ahead if you will. First off, I want to thank you for being on the program.
I want to thank you to welcome me
I
here.
really do appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Go ahead, and if you would, just give a closing comment or something, anything that you haven't said that you'd like to say. Go ahead, and if you would, just tell the viewers out there.
Yeah, I'd like just to invite people to open up more on everything in life, because we have been educated, we have been programmed, and how much of you is you? I think it's the question. Is it because you have been programmed and educated to believe in a certain tradition and values that it is what you are really and what's good for you? So just, I don't think it would hurt anybody just to open up and have a newer look on everything and try to learn, try to put your hands on everything new and make your mind work, and you'll see that you'll find new things and you'll discover new things about yourself that you didn't know before. And you're all welcome to come and meet me at those lectures this week, and it's going to be a pleasure for me to answer your question as much as I can. And on Sunday morning, if you want to come meditate, then it's very good to learn to be in harmony with yourself and others.
I made this for you, Jeff.
Ah,
Thanks for having us on the show.
Thank you very much. I
yeah.
just was presented with something. I don't know what it is, but
it's a symbol. She does that.
What is that exactly?
That's a symbol of infinity.
Ah.
With a little bird and a little UFO here.
And you can hang it on your wall with a hook on it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I always like to receive things. I got an autographed picture of John Wayne about 2 months back.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't John Wayne himself, but it was a friend of John Wayne's who gave.
And he gave it to you?
Okay. Anyway, appreciate that, John. Okay. Anyway, I hate to. Actually, if you're back in town, give us a call and we'll see about getting you back on.
Yes, maybe next year I'll come back. Yeah. But I try to come when it's warmer.
Yeah.
It's too cold. It's freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, la 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 la. Yes.
Again, I do.
Hello, folks. This is Mike Hanson, your good old YouTube video buddy. And we got a new YouTube channel. It's Hanson Archives, Hanson. And we got a new one coming out, Waco Archives. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. And if you'd like to write us to help out with this project, she's going to throw the address up right now for you. All right, and if you'd like to call us, 830-672-3089. Go ahead and tell them, look at this little puppy, tell them to subscribe. Say subscribe. All right, folks, God bless.
I tell you what.